Hey YouTubers, this is a video response to Ateya's video about independent women. I really like that she had this Let's Talk session because I think that that's a subject we need to discuss. As a woman, I think that I should definitely be independent, meaning I pay my own bills. I don't lack the ability to take care of my essentials in the absence of a man. To me, that's what an independent woman is. An independent woman can handle her business while she's single and maintain and be stable. And when she gets into a relationship, that independent woman should still know how to let a man be a man. Now, that doesn't mean that I need to totally forego and forget that I know how to work a job or cook or clean or any of that stuff, but it's kind of like Spark Wisdom was saying, a man wants to feel responsible for certain things and be respected in a sense, and that's very true. And it honestly, I didn't get into a serious relationship until I was 26 years old, and I've always been a very independent woman. I was raised that way. It's just in my blood, and I really could identify with a lot of the things that Tia was talking about because being raised by independent individuals or other women and having those type of role models in your life inspire you to be a good woman yourself, and that's how I was raised. So when I really look at it, it took me to get into a relationship with a real man for me to learn the other flip side of being an independent woman. I can say that I always worked two jobs. I was there for my family. I was just, I was mainly about family and church and work. And that was my life until I was 26 years old. Those are the things that just really resonated in me to be a provider in that sense, to learn how to be domesticated. I mean, a lot of women can say that this 2010, there's certain things that aren't our roles. And I'm not saying that a woman has to do certain things, but you should have the ability to be domesticated, meaning that you should have basic, things like you throw a meal together. Nobody says that you have to be a chef, but you need to know how to throw certain meals together, wash your clothes, get your oil changed, and all that kind of stuff. There's just things you need to know how to do in the absence of having a partner. Now, I will say this about an independent woman. If you're being independent in the correct way, that means you got to be stank about it. It's kind of like Ateya was saying, you don't have to shout out these things that I don't need a man and, hoop and hollering about that, because really that's not showing it. It really makes you come off like a bitter chick when you have to act that way. But when you can be that strong woman, your actions speak for yourself. And I will say this, when you're an independent, strong woman, you will not attract men who aren't that way, or if they think they're attracted to you, they'll be blown off. Because I can say this, prior to being in a relationship with the correct man, men that were incorrect for me, you can kind of see how long they last, because if they're not a real man, you intimidate them by your independence. Not meaning that they aren't attracted to you, but you can be too much to handle, because some men want a woman that's physically independent but emotionally dependent. I am the type of woman who I'm going to be emotionally and physically independent, but prior to being in a relationship, because I'll never let you see that you hurt me. I'll never act like I gotta have you, because if you're playing a game, I'm not the one to play with. That's just my personal take. But being the type of woman I was until God sent the right man into my life, it actually kind of it distracts men who try to be your suitors and have ulterior motives. So that's why, as a woman, you should want to be an independent woman, and you should want to have a certain quality about you that just basically shows you don't put up with any BS. And I guarantee you, if you be the woman that God intends you to be, and I'm still growing into the woman God intends me to be, you will detract those, and you will kind of basically make those who aren't coming at you for the right reasons move around. And when the right man comes into your life, it is then your duty to learn how to let a man be a man, because remember, this is a partnership. Y'all trying to build something. And when you're trying to build a business, or you're trying to build an empire, because to me, when you get in a relationship, you build a corporation, because there are so many powerful things that can come out of a strong man and a strong woman putting it together. And as an independent woman, when I got into a relationship with an independent man, which thank God I did, I had to learn where I needed to step back at and where I needed to step up at. And areas that you have to step back in, like speak wisdom. Like she was saying, like a man wants to be a man, he wants to be able to open a door. And when we as ladies don't remember these things, we actually give a man a pass not to be a man. And when you give a man a pass not to be a man, don't be mad that he doesn't when he's not a man. And I'm not saying, specifically opening a door makes you a man, but there's certain things that men need to be able to feel masculine about, and they need to feel like they're the head of their household. Now, that doesn't mean you let a man run over you, but you should always be working to check and balance the independence and the relationship, as well as checking and balancing knowing your role. And I mean, you got a lot of women that argue that because of the year we're in, but you know what? There are some things in life that don't change, and there are reasons why. There are people who have been in their relationships 20, 30, 40, 50 years deep. It's because they have learned and are continuing to learn that check and balance in a relationship. And you should continue to work toward being independent, but still dependent upon each other in an emotional way. And I can honestly say that when I got into a relationship with the right man, I was able to begin to break that wall of emotional independence, because there's something about that man I need. Otherwise, I wouldn't be with him. So, to try to be independent in the wrong way can actually break up a good thing, because sometimes we get so caught up in being independent and proving how good we are at what we do that we lack to give the other person what they need. And if you're in a relationship, it's because you're supposed to be fulfilling each other. So when I look at independence, I really want to kind of go in the direction of relationships and independence, because that's the area of my life that I'm in right now. So when I look at it, I'm glad that Ateya brought that video up, and I'm glad that Speak Wisdom brought that video, because it's my first time watching a Speak Wisdom video. I've always watched Ateya videos, and she just embodies, a powerful, independent woman, and I really like that about her. I don't know her personally, but I'm just saying what she reflects. Just from watching one of Speak Wisdom's videos, I got the same impression of her, because I really liked how she talked about as an adult, you shouldn't get any kudos or brownie points for being independent, because these are things that we should be doing automatically. They should be instinctual. But if you think about it, honestly, you get kudos points because there's so many people that aren't doing it, and that's sad to say. There's so many people who are dependent on a man or a woman. There are people who are dependent on the government. There are people who are dependent on family and friends. So when you actually are independent, sad enough, it's a big deal now. And that's just sad, because that should be the standard. That's not anything abnormal. That should be something you're always doing. So that's just my take on it. And again, it's my opinion. It's the direction I want to go with. And thank you, Ateya, and thank you, Speak Wisdom, for actually bringing up these topics, because we need stuff like this. I mean, we need women, especially because we're women, to really look at themselves, and I need to look at myself and evaluate my level of independence and knowing my check and balance with myself and with my man. So thank y'all for watching. Holla at you later.